Hello, everybody. This is Trevor Crow. It's a beautiful Tuesday right here in Greenwich, Connecticut. I am beyond excited to having sit next to me in person, Mayor Caroline Simmons, the mayor of Stamford, Connecticut. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be with you today.
I am thrilled. You're just one of my sheroes, if you will. And Mayor Caroline is, by the way, just absolutely beautiful, looking gorgeous. And she just had her fourth baby. Number four people. Did you hear that? What are their names?
We have three boys, Teddy, Jack, and William. And then we had a girl. We're so excited. Her name is Lily. Oh. And so far the big brothers are being protective.
Oh,
and it's been a lot of fun. A bit chaotic, but definitely fun and special moments.
I can't imagine. Yeah, I mean, really, you look awake. And you seem to be doing great, so congratulations. You know, one of the things that I'm really curious about is your mom, obviously. How does that impact or influence the way you look at running the city of Stamford?
Sure. Well, it's such a unique and rewarding opportunity to get to lead the second largest, fastest growing city with so many families with young kids, and to be at a time where I'm also a mom raising young kids. So all of the issues that I'm fighting for in Stamford have more urgency because I want to fight for not just my kids, but all the kids in our city and for future generations. So I really work to bring that sense of urgency to the work every day. And also my focus is on making Stamford a more family-friendly city and investing in enhancing quality of life for families across our city in every neighborhood, whether that's fixing our schools and playgrounds and parks to adopting more family-friendly policies across the city, or just working on ways to make Stamford a great place to raise a family where everyone can thrive. So it's a unique experience getting to be in this role at this moment with young kids. It brings more urgency to the work. It helps guide my policy making, and I think it helps me also relate to other families that are going through similar things, and especially all the working moms and working parents out there that are juggling so much every day.
Oh my God, I'm just so thrilled. We need more women in power. We need that perception, not so reality, really, actually, of being right in the weeds. You've got four little ones, and how do we make our cities better, more family friendly? And so many, I know, working families, both moms and dads, are really stressed about childcare, trying to get their kids to and from. School's about to start in like a week. Is that right?
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. And it's funny, I also have an office full of moms. So we all are talking about back to school. They all have kids at different ages, but we kind of bring that just get stuff done efficiently mindset to our work. But yes, absolutely. Focusing on investing in our schools is a top priority. Working on policies to make childcare more affordable. We're working on things like passing an ordinance to incentivize the creation of more affordable childcare centers across our city, and working to make that more accessible for residents. Investing in things like new playgrounds. We've built 4 new playgrounds across the city, which for any parent knows how important playgrounds are for young kids, for not just to get their energy out, but also for social connection and cognitive development and fine motor skills and all of the benefits there. But also as we think towards the future of our city, making our city safer and more sustainable for future generations. We're a coastal city with rising sea levels, so we think a lot and put a lot of work into resiliency efforts, investing in sustainable infrastructure to make our city a safer place for future generations. Really,
really important work. So you are going to run it again, I hear. Tell me about that.
Yes, I'm excited. I've announced my run for re-election. It's been such a privilege getting to serve in this role the past 4 years. It's been one of the most rewarding experiences to get to wake up every day and work on policies to improve people's lives and to enhance quality of life for people across our city. And while we've gotten a lot accomplished that I'm proud of, there's still so much more work to do to move our city forward, to help make sure every family has the opportunity to thrive in our city. So I'm excited to build off of the progress that we've made over the past 4 years and continue to work to take our city to the next level and help people and solve problems in our community.
Can you point to any particular projects that you've really focused on and grown and you're particularly proud of?
Sure. Our top 3 priorities have been investing in our infrastructure, advancing economic prosperity for everyone, and making our government more responsive to enhance quality of life. So with respect to infrastructure, I'm really excited. We are making a big investment in our schools, about $1 billion over the next decade, to improve our school facilities. We want to make sure our teachers and students have high quality learning facilities. So we secured over $500 million from the state in this past session to focus on investing in our schools, specifically to rebuild West Hill High School and Roxbury Elementary School, but then also funding to support things like new air conditionings in our schools, new sidewalks around our schools, new roofs, new HVACs. So all the things that schools need so that our students can learn in safe, quality environments. We've also put a big focus on parks. We have 58 parks across Stamford.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yes, and we're making investments in all of our parks with the goal of making sure every resident has a high quality park within a 10-minute walk of where they live. So we've launched a new Stamford Parks Community Partnership. We've already raised about $200,000 from the private sector, which will go towards investing in beautification efforts at our parks, better bathrooms, better recreational facilities, and also things like flower planting to make our parks more beautiful. So we're excited about that. Additionally, with respect to infrastructure, we worked with the state to open the new Stamford parking garage with 800 new parking spots, EV chargers, bike racks. But the next phase is working with DOT to rebuild the Stamford train station itself. So an RFP is out right now, and our goal is to build a world-class modern station that is more accessible for commuters and will enhance the commuter experience, because it's the second busiest station after Grand Central on the Northeast Corridor.
Whoa, I did not realize it. First of all, I really like that parking structure. I love the colors of the lights that go different. It's kind of cool. I don't know if anybody's noticed it at night. There's a lot of traffic, so sometimes I'd sit there and watch it for a while. That is one area. Oh my gosh, I wish we could fix that corridor. I know everybody's working hard at the DOT, but also I know the governor talks about it. But yeah, that's a huge initiative to upgrade that train station, and we need that. And another thing that I would really love to see us work on is, I like to go to like Hartford Amphitheater, but I have to change trains in Stamford. So I'm like, can't we figure out a way to make it much easier for like local commuters back and forth along this corridor? I have friends in Fairfield. I don't want to get on 95 anymore.
Yes,
right?
we know that 95 is one of the most congested highways in the country. So we are working with the state and with DOT on, for example, right now they're adding an auxiliary lane between exit 6 and 7, and that's going to help reduce some of that traffic when people are getting on and off the highway, and also make that safer. We're also working to, increase alternate modes of transportation, because people are so reliant on their cars to get around Connecticut and to get around our city. And so we need to make it more accessible to access bus routes, train routes, even to be able to walk and bike around our city. We have a big focus on enhancing our pedestrian and bike infrastructure, because we know that there's sidewalks that aren't connected and bike lanes that aren't connected across our city. So we're putting a big emphasis on building new sidewalks, making them more connected, and connecting bike routes around our city, so you don't just have to rely on your car to get around Stamford.
Great news. We got to get out of our cars. I think we have to think more like the Europeans. Very few actually own cars. They really do use public transportation.
Yes.
And it's here. I don't think to use it, but now I am, because the traffic got so bad. So I would love to see us just do better up and down the corridor here.
Yes, absolutely.
So, okay, what is the most the project you're most proud of in your 4 years so far?
Sure. I'll say one of the things I'm most proud of is with respect to economic development. When I came in, we were still amidst the pandemic, where so many small businesses had to shut down at no fault of their own. And so one of the first things we did was we created a small business grant. We gave out grants to 120 small businesses, which are really the backbone of our community. They create 2/3 of jobs, and they're really the heart and soul of our local economy. So we got that grant out right away. And then we've continued to work on efforts to provide more access to capital to small businesses. And I'm really proud of that work that our economic development team has done to keep those businesses open, but also we've worked to make our city more business friendly. So we have continued access to capital resources. We also have just created a new walk-in permitting center. This is one of the biggest concerns I heard coming in from both residents and small businesses, that it can be really difficult to access a permit in the city of Stamford. So we now have a walk-in permitting center that residents and small businesses can go to, where you can get access to all of the city officials involved in permitting, from the fire marshal's office to EPB to the building team, and you can get your permitting questions answered. Our data shows that the permitting wait time has been reduced from 2 years down to 90 days.
Wow.
So that's just one effort to make our make our city more business friendly and to make our government more responsive to residents.
I love that. Okay, anybody who's tuning in right now, this is Trevor Crow. The show is Trevor and Friends, and I am just totally honored to be sitting next to Mayor Caroline Simmons. She is telling us about what she has done in her most favorite proud projects that are really about getting access for not only money, but easier permitting. This really is business friendly. And so anybody out there who says Democrats are not business friendly, I'm like, please focus on these really good things that Mayor Caroline is doing, because this was such a necessity right after or during COVID, right? And you came in at a really dark moment. So that's amazing news. And again, these are the areas where most people just want to focus on the negative. And I'm like, part of my show is let's focus on some of the darn positives here. So
yes,
kudos to you.
I love that focusing on the positive and where we are making progress, but we have to still acknowledge there are problems and challenges, and we're working hard every day to solve those. But another thing I wanted to add with respect to economic development is workforce development and job training is so important. One of the things we just launched is a new Stamford Tech Hub, which we secured $5 million from Charter Communications, which is one of the biggest companies in our city, and that money is going to providing free technology training for young adults in our community that are underemployed. And we have all these great, good paying job opportunities. We want to make sure we're connecting young people in our city to those opportunities. So this training is taking place at our old town hall. We want to encourage residents, if you're interested in getting upskilled with technology skills. We know that 9 out of 10 jobs over the next decade are going to require tech skills. And so we offer free certificate training in everything from cybersecurity to AI and all the different kinds of skills that we need to train our workforce for.
Now, if there's a resident here in Greenwich who wanted to access this, is that open to Greenwich residents or just Stamford?
So it's focused on Stamford residents, but we can certainly connect with them. We know we want to support our whole ecosystem in this region, and we can certainly share other resources that are available in the region.
That's awesome. And again, incredibly important stuff. We have a lot of jobs that are open in the state of Connecticut, but we don't know the people trained for these particular jobs. So it's really important that we make these public-private partnerships, and now you've got this tech hub going, so that's thrilling. I'm delighted. Yes. Okay, so talk to me about one of the things that's very exciting is Stamford is, what is it, the second fastest growing city in the country, in the USA?
Second fastest growing city in Connecticut.
In Connecticut?
Yes.
But in the country, I think we're right up there, top 10.
We are. We've seen significant growth. We gained about 10,000 residents according to the 2020 census numbers. A lot of that was post-pandemic. We saw a lot of young families moving out of New York City, wanting a safe place to live. Stamford is one of the safest cities in New England and ranked one of the safest cities in the country for our size, thanks to the hard work of our police, fire, and EMS officials. But we really want to make sure we're keeping Stamford safe, so we're investing in our public safety departments. But yes, we saw a lot of young families move out of New York City to Stamford, so we're continuing to see young families moving in. We want to make Stamford a great place to live, so we're investing in all of these quality of life enhancements and infrastructure improvements for that reason.
Really huge. Okay, so of course one of the biggest problems here in Connecticut is housing, cost of living. We have, I think, about 100,000 units short of what we actually need. You are one of the few places in the state that is actually building and adding units. Talk to me about that. How many are coming on and what have you got?
Sure. So I signed an executive order on affordable housing with the goal of both building new affordable units for families, but also to upgrade existing affordable units that haven't been updated in years. For example, Stamford Manor is one of the low-income senior housing facilities in our city that hasn't been upgraded for years. So we're making an investment in our city capital budget to make improvements to those rental units for seniors. We're investing in workforce housing, and we're also trying to make it easier for home ownership in our city. We know that we're in one of the most expensive housing markets in the country in Stamford, and so we're working with organizations like the Housing Development Fund, which makes the pathway to home ownership more affordable for residents. So I'm really proud of the work that we're doing. This is one of the top concerns that I hear from residents, that the rent has increased. mortgages have increased, and too many people are struggling to afford to live in our city. And so I have an obligation as mayor to do what we can to make housing more affordable, so that we can continue to attract young families to live in our city, so that we can support our workforce. So many of our teachers and firefighters can't afford to live in Stamford. And I really believe this is one of the most important issues facing our country right now, and that if we want to be a successful, thriving city, we have to make it affordable and accessible for people to live in.
Absolutely crucial, I believe, as we go forward, and having policies and initiatives that really help everyone, and including, your older generations that are needing elderly and housing for people who are growing a little older.
Yes.
Gosh. Anyway, I just love hearing all about this, all these positives. Again, if you're tuning in right now, this is Trevor Crow, Trevor and Friends. I'm with Mayor Caroline Simmons of Stamford, Connecticut. So talk to me about maybe your least favorite part of the job.
Sure. I'll say that my least favorite part of the job is probably when politics gets in the way of getting things done for the people of Stamford. I think being mayor is a unique job in that I'm mayor for everyone in this city, and it's a job that really transcends party politics, and it's a job where you really, and my goal is really to deliver results for the people of Stamford, to get things done, to get things accomplished. So, when things happen, like when members of our local board reject free money coming from the state that will go towards environmental cleanup efforts to make our city safer and healthier, and when that's rejected for political reasons, that's incredibly frustrating. When there's obstructionism that gets in the way of making progress for the people of Stamford, that's probably the most frustrating part.
I can't imagine. And yeah, I agree with you. There's no point of that. And it seems to me that is not for the people, by the people. It's for the partisan, whatever it is that was going on behind the scenes.
Right, exactly. And I come at this from a bipartisan approach. My husband's a Republican, I'm a Democrat, and we've always believed that instead of attacking each other, let's just attack the problems facing our city, facing our state, and work together on creative solutions, because I think that's what people want out of their government officials, and that's the obligation and the oath that we took to serve the people of Stamford. So I try to do that as best as I can, and I'll say that I think we're making really great progress, but we still have significant work to do.
Yeah, I know. And I see all these things you're doing, which is so exciting, and it's really great to hear it from you, what's coming along and how it's going. And it's also a lot of work, right? It's probably a little overwhelming sometimes. What do you do to kind of relax? What happens for you?
Sure. Well, I'll say, like, getting home to see my 4 young kids every morning is probably like the most humbling part of the job. They do not care that I'm mayor. They just want mommy to give them a snack or play with them or change their diaper. So that is very humbling and grounding every day to have that. I also try to exercise as much as I can, going for runs or doing yoga. I every year I say I'm going to meditate more, which I haven't found time to get to, but I do want to work on that. But I'm really grateful. I've got a really supportive husband who has been in politics, and so helps me when I'm stressed out and can't sleep in the middle of the night. He's a great person that I can vent to. And I think also just, you have to have a thick skin in this job. You can't please every single person, but I think as long as you're honest, transparent, and explain why we're trying to do the things we're doing, and that we're trying to put people first and make progress in the city of Stamford and do the best we can, that's the best that we could do.
Hugely important. Okay, one last question. We're going to wrap up in a couple minutes. ICE. It's a divisive issue. Oh my goodness, people are being taken away. I know there was a protest recently in Norwalk. In fact, one of your state reps, Corey Parris, has been physically, or not maybe physically, but he got phone calls and sort of a pushback on some social media stuff he put on that was quite violent. How are you handling it? How do you feel about all this?
Sure. Well, first I'll just say that I vehemently reject the threats of violence that Representative Parris has experienced. It's completely unacceptable, and we have zero tolerance for threats of violence in our city against any member of our community. No one should have to experience that. He's a great representative, fighting for his constituents and working to make our city a better place, and that's just totally unacceptable, and we stand with him and his family. And with respect to the broader issue with ICE, these are really tough times. There's a lot of fear and anxiety in our community right now with everything that is taking place. And I was actually just meeting with our police chief about this, and we are reiterating to the community that immigrants in our community can trust our Stamford police. If they're a victim of a crime, they should feel safe calling our Stamford police. That makes our community and our city safer when there's trust between our immigrant community and between law enforcement. That was actually one of the things we worked on. I actually used to work at the Department of Homeland Security, which has oversight over ICE. ICE is, of course, is one of the departments that was created after 9/11 and brought under DHS. And one of the things we worked hard on was to build more trust between our law enforcement, between federal, state, and local law enforcement and our immigrant communities, because that makes our country safer as a whole. When our immigrant community can trust the police, when they know they can go to the police to report a crime, we need that trust in place, and we need those communication channels in place. So that's the message we're reiterating to residents at this time.
Okay, thank you for that. We are probably going to go to a break. Are we okay? Yes. All right. I'm on air live with Mayor Caroline Simmons of Stamford. It's been such a great conversation, learning all about all the great initiatives she has been involved in, keeping that city going and growing and thriving and focused on family friendly and parks and jobs. I'm so thrilled. So good luck with your run for re-election.
Thank you.
Congratulations on Lily, baby number 4.
Thank you so much. And thanks for having me today.
So great. All right. We are going to be back in just a couple minutes. Hang in there. This is Trevor Crow, Trevor and Friends, WGCH 1490 AM. Stay tuned.